Hello, Amanda here with Lynn Therapy. One of the things that we need in the world today is not only understanding communication skills, boundaries, and how to assert these things, but we need to understand what to look out for in regards to gaslighting and maladaptive communication skills in general. Not only do we have thoughts, feelings, and emotions, we also have to be able to communicate these things. A lot of the times our boundaries can be crossed. This means that people can be misled, misguided, trust can be broken, values can be questioned, and at the end of the day, that communication piece can get twisted. Really lack of understanding around what those values are in the first place that keep those boundaries strong. So what is gaslighting? Gaslighting is when a manipulator sows the seed of doubt in a victim so that they start questioning their own story. Even though they might know their own values, they might give up certain beliefs in themselves because they see that this person might be able to support them in other ways. However, that can get misdefined as control. And over time in that process, it gets lost in communication. This can also be realized in a nervous system technique when there's an anxiety response. When self-awareness kicks in around A, intuition, B, anxiety, self-doubt, questioning thoughts, then you can say what's off, what changed here. And sometimes we don't always realize those things until after they've happened. So offering yourself the empathy, 1, 2, planning ahead, 3, being able to offer yourself, these are my advocacy needs, and then knowing you have a foundation to build that off of with clear communication skills and boundary setting. When gaslighting occurs, this has to do with denial, attack on the victim, putting it back onto the person that's making that assertive statement, and then the gaslighter is made to be the victim instead. It's a valuable tactic to them for anybody that has empathy. For people who tend to be givers or caregivers, this tends to be a great victimization tool for people who want to take control or authority over others. It's a very unfortunate event in the case that empathy is our number one human emotion and coping tool, which is why we always go to that first in our problem-solving solutions. How do I feel? And then problem solve from there based off of your values. Different examples of gaslighting can be things like minimization or projection, denying things happen, or even making them seem less trivial than what they really are. A lot of the times it means that the victim or the person that's asserting their needs aren't being heard. They're feeling minimized. They're questioning things and wondering, what is this person really looking out for in the end? Because now their feelings are hurt, and yet at the same time, no communication had been resolved in between. One piece that's a clear sign of a gaslighting technique is when somebody starts to belittle or demoralize somebody for having their own beliefs. If they immediately put you down, name call, shame, minimize what you're saying, and not taking ownership for the fact that you have your own feelings and sense of self and identity, then that's where you can continue to say, that's a red flag, they're not looking out for me. So continuing to offer yourself the mutual respect that you would be looking for in a healthy relationship, and then holding those standards within all your different dynamics in your life so that you can continue to be your own best advocate, able to be authentic, keep yourself accountable, communicate clearly, and not only know yourself and your needs. That's way you don't change within all the different dynamics of your life, or they don't change you. You can create a sense of resiliency, and yet at the same time reflecting back, what is going on? Where do I need to offer myself that empathy instead? And then where do my relationships contribute that as well, and go from there. So know yourself more than anything and continue to be your own best friend. Validating of feelings is the number one rule in having a conversation. I hear you saying that. When I hear you saying that, that means I hear what you are saying, and you can correct me if I'm wrong or not. When you're able to repeat back after me, I feel heard. And from there, you can voice your own opinion. Because guess what? that's what you're looking back for. You're looking for your own opinion to be heard back as well. So from there, being able to resolve or say, okay, these are our two problems in this equation. What do I need to do to find my problem-solving solution? Is this really me? Is this really you? Is this helpful or hurtful? And then can we make a clear decision from there without having to use shaming or blaming language? Shaming and blaming language comes back to lack of I statements. When we're not able to use I statements, then we're going back to you don't understand, you don't see me, you see a different perspective. And a lot of the times that changed the problem at hand into another problem, and now we're not having the same conversation we were in the first place. Being able to validate to the person, I hear you saying, active listening again, then not only validates the situation at hand and what the person's saying, but it automatically resolves the problem without having to get a behavior involved. So from there, having a healthy conversation then leads to what's our problem-solving solution versus getting into more gaslighting, potentially angry responses, irritability, and that's where we come in the mental health field of being able to then reset, see where those things sort of come from, and offer yourself that empathy again that you haven't been able to offer yourself. So creating a safe place and setting for you to be able to meet your needs, then find the acceptance to be able to say, okay, there are healthy ways and conversations to communicate these things instead. So noticing the gaslighting warning signs, being able to then not just deny what's happening, but to come up front and take ownership, be authentic in your communication and your language skills, knowing that you're communicating clearly to then be able to resolve the problem at hand without minimizing or trivializing or denying or not giving yourself this accountability of having your own opinion and having your own values along the way, no matter how much empathy you might have. Always fill up your cup. You can always reach out for support if you feel like you or you know someone struggles with these things. Being able to go back to self-care routines. How do you take care of yourself? How do you fill up your cup? What does it mean to nurture your needs? These are a lot of basic questions that a lot of people are not able to meet or answer for themselves because we've never made the space or given the room to do them. So in that way, we're able to help people create that space for themselves to not only create their own accountability, but also then be able to find their own self-love, self-appreciation, even in a world that might have more intellectual conversations. It doesn't mean that the problem-solving solution isn't just as simple at hand. So knowing yourself, knowing healthy communication skills can help resolve a lot of those pieces. So feel free to reach out if you have any further questions or you'd like more information. We are always happy to help here at Amanda Lynn Therapy. Have a wonderful day, and I'll look forward to talking to you next.